Stars who seemingly have no connection but are entangled in a very public incident. Britney Spears is claiming that a member of NBA star Victor Wembanyama's security team struck her in the face. She tried to get a photo with the player and says she was backhanded by a member of the San Antonio Spurs security team. Wembanyama says he didn't see the encounter but claims he was grabbed by Spears, and that's when security intervened. Billy Porter and his husband Adam Smith are divorcing after 6 years of marriage. Porter released a statement to People magazine about the decision to separate. The Star's rep shared that the decision was made after much consideration and it was amicable. Porter is set to star in an upcoming gay divorce drama called Our Son. Drake is the latest artist to be hit with an object while on stage. When Drake opened his new tour in Chicago, a phone thrown by a fan hit him in the arm. Drake continued the show, seemingly unhurt. Recent targets have included Bebe Rexha, Kelsey Ballerini, and Ava Max. And Adele recently addressed the trend at her Las Vegas residency. It's Taylor's turn to speak now. Again, the Star's recorded version of her third studio album just dropped. It's got all of the hits that Swifties fell in love with 13 years ago. Speak Now, Taylor's version, also includes never-before-heard songs. The release comes as part of Swift's effort to re-release her albums after her catalog was sold off to talent agent Scooter Braun. Swift is currently on her Eras tour, which is expected to rake in over $1 billion. Singer-songwriter Tracy Chapman is making history with a nearly 40-year-old song. Chapman is the first Black woman to be sole writer of a #1 song on Billboard's country music airplay charts. This is a Luke Combs remake of her song Fast Car. The song also reached #1 on Billboard's country songwriters chart. Chapman told Billboard she's honored and grateful that new fans have found and embraced Fast Car. It's time to go for a joyride. The highly anticipated movie is now in theaters, and Joyride is much more than a comedy. Its representation for AAPI, queer people, women, and non-binary folks is a first for this genre, and the Stars tell me that a movie like this has been missing from the screen for far too long.
Would you talk a little bit about this film that centers friendship as well as, but also, AAPI folks?
Yeah, I think we are all just really excited. All of us were, the first time we read this script, and, I can speak personally, I was just really blown away by, I hadn't read a script this funny and this heartfelt and this witty and thought through and genuine in so long. And I also just love this genre of comedy. And I think comedy hits the best when, part of the way through you're like, whoa, I'm actually here for, a bigger reason. And I think, at least for me, and I think we've all talked about this, I think we've all observed this genre of cinema, at least, in a way that we've learned from, we're endeared to, and we enjoy as spectators. And to even have the notion of being able to be a protagonist in this story and being able to go full out because we trust the people who created it, we trust the people who surround us. I was just so excited it was being made. And it really is actually surreal to be sitting in this chair talking to you and have this movie that we are all so proud and excited to share. And I think we're most proud and excited because I think in the audiences who have viewed it so far, it's not just AAPI, the community. It's fun to watch it with those people in our community because they feel the specificities of feeling very understood and seen in such a beautiful way, but also we get to familiarize and relate to people of all walks of life, and they find such laughter and such communion and just watching us genuinely get to know, we are getting to know each other in that way and becoming this family in the same way the characters are. And what the coolest thing we haven't talked about in press is we got to do reshoots. Lionsgate was kind enough to give us the opportunity to reshoot some scenes that we needed to do to make the story make sense and such. And we got to do that a year after we filmed the project, very much like the scenes that we were reshooting. And I think that was really special because I think anything that you get to go on a journey on with the people you're making it with, and then you get to share it and be proud of it because it comes from a good place and heart, feels very special.
Yeah, I mean, it is special, and thank you so much for that answer. And Sabrina, I want to talk to you a little bit specifically about Deadeye, who is, even among this group, is a little bit of an outsider, a little bit of an oddball, but who finds family and friendship. And would you talk a little bit about that aspect of the film and your character?
Yeah, it's awesome. It was like I felt very special. Like, I felt like it was very special to have someone who was kind of an oddball that got to, like, really also carry so much of the heart of the film and, like, to even, like, care about the relationships in their world. Like, I think it's so easy to siphon off people who are weird as, like, oh, they're just, like, funny, and, like, why should we think about, like, what they're feeling or what they want? And I'm just so, I don't know, and I obviously am so bad at not reading reviews, but it's like it's been really sweet to, like, just hear other, like, queer people talk about how much, like, you know, like, seeing them mean something to them and how everyone sort of feels like a Deadeye. And I think feeling kind of lonely and not like you're with your people is a very, like, universal experience. And so, yeah, I feel honored that I get to do that in my character.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for that. And you actually touched on, Stephanie, I was going to go to you and ask you a little bit about the intersections in this film, because it's not just AAPI leads, but also few queer leads, and also Sherry's character is queer in the film, and so these intersections are woven throughout. And what does that mean to you? I mean, you came off of Everything Everywhere All at Once that had that as well, but to have that in this comedy, what does that mean to you?
I honestly think that it has deepened this genre. I mean, the fact not only in terms of the intersection of our cultures and our racial identity, but also our sexuality, our gender queerness. I just think that even the character of Deadeye specifically brought a depth and a new dimension to this sort of stencil that we've seen baked over and over and over again. Stencils are not baked, but you know what I mean. Nobody bake a stencil.
They could be.
People probably don't even use stencils
Cookie
anymore.
stencil.
They just like type it into their bots. Anyway, but I feel really excited. I mean, I think, you know, for so long when we talk about representation, it's like you get one box.
Yeah.
And I just think we're entering a period where we are experiencing how much more woven we are in all of our prisms of identity. And that to me is just a much more interesting place to be witnessing art from.
Yes, incredible. Thank you so much. And Sherry, we've talked before, and also specifically about this film. And one thing I don't think I asked you about is this film is very sex positive as well, which is incredible. And would you talk about that piece of the film?
You know, Lolo is such a special character because I feel like it's the most liberated version of me I've ever portrayed on the screen, because she does say what everyone thinks, and she wants to open up the conversation about sex and wants, you know, kids to not feel ashamed that they feel this or that, and, you know, also bridging the gap between us and our parents and our grandparents, you know, the cultural and generational divide of just having these conversations that are so overdue. You know, it's been missing from the screen. And we talk about not seeing representation. Our parents have seen even less representation. You know, so I think this film is going to be for everyone. It's going to unleash the inner sexy beast of my mom tonight at the premiere when I watch her watch it.
I want to interview our parents after
Honestly,
all together.
That's a good idea.
We should do a round table with us and all of our
Lord,
parents and
I
be
don't
like,
know.
did you ever think you'd see this kind of thing? And also, did you, in no world did you think we'd be a part of it?
Yeah,
You know?
my mom will go to therapy for the first time, you know? But yeah, I mean, I just, you know, we're all so layered, you know, just as the four of us on screen, we're proving that we're not a monolith by any means. And also individually, we are more than one thing, which is why it's so cool with the queerness and also just the funniness and the humanness of it all. Because yeah, we are Asian faces, but this film is so universal. It's for everyone.
That's the thing in the intersectionality.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not about, it's for people finding themselves and finding each other. And with such honesty in who they are and whatever boxes they check, and there's not one. But I think that is what makes us so happy to be around each other. And part of the film is it's really about this core thing that we've never gotten to have access to telling that story because we've been so busy trying to explain the box that we've been put in for whatever story.
Yeah, we're definitely redefining ourselves, and this film is going to start a lot of conversations.
You can watch the Advocate channel live by downloading our app in the Apple or Google Play Store. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. For the Advocate channel, I'm Tracy E. Gilchrist, and thank you for watching.